Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for World Trigger chapters 136 and 137. Okay, now, I had a quite possibly the busiest week I've had in an incredibly long time last week, because I had this Easter play that I had to be a part of, which means I had practice for that play almost every day, with the exceptions of Monday and Thursday. And Monday I was live at Monday Night Raw with WWE, so I didn't get home till after midnight. And then Thursday I had the showing for Batman vs Superman, which I also did not get home from till about after midnight. So yeah, it was just a really busy week. All right, so that's why this chapter is not coming out till the week after 136. That is. That's why the review's a little late with that, and why I'm doing a double review. But yeah, nothing, there's really nothing I really could have done about that. It's like when I'm getting home at midnight. What now? What can I do? All right, but yeah, I'll just start off with chapter 136. The neighbors have left now. Oh, they've left. They're back on their ship. Okay, border leadership. They still want to be cautious because there's still Galopoula and Aftercrate and the others won't, and the other Rotocrown. They won't be out of Meden's orbit for another month, so there's still time for them to come back if they need to. Um, and they're probably going to because they can't just abandon their mission. Um, we actually get a relatively long scene here of the neighbors and everything. Reggie was pretty beaten psychologically. He's just all messed up and he's just angry with himself and like angry at not angry at the world, but he's just angry at himself. Um, all of them were trying to figure out how it was possible for Border to have as much intel as they did and know so much about their plans, and they just couldn't figure it out. But Rata thought he may have had an idea. But I'm guessing, I don't know what exactly he had in mind, but it probably isn't Gene's side effect. so, so I'm actually kind of interested in what he thinks it is because that could give us a hint as to something that'll happen later on in the series. If he believes that there is some way for them to have intel, um, if Border doesn't know about this way, then there's a chance they will end up finding out about that way later on. Okay, so and that could lead us into give us another arc later on or something like that. Um, Now, Gatlin and Yomi, they started talking about Vasilisa, Gatlin's spider arm trigger thing, and they were talking about how it is that it broke, and essentially to sum this all up, the reason Vasilisa broke is because Tachikawa and Konami are just really freaking good. That sums it up right there. They're really freaking good. That's how they broke Vasilisa. All right. Um, and Gatlin's sitting there, and because of how good Tachikawa and Konami are, and they're just two people in Border. They're just two. Plus, with all the intel they have, they somehow have. Gatlin's sitting there, and he realizes that they can't rush back in. They just can't. The month that they have, they actually have to take that month and plan and train and do everything that they possibly can to try to make the mission a success, even though they don't actually want to be there. They don't have a choice. um, so that was that with the entire neighbor situation. From there, we just transition away from that completely to the fifth round of the rank wars, the B rank wars. Okay, we learned that Katsuri's squad actually lost to Nasu's squad previously, and Kakizaki's squad lost to Arafune's squad, both of which are teams that lost to Team Mikuma. Okay, Tamakoma too. All right, so it is definitely possible for Osamu and them to win this. It's very easily possible. Like not easy. It's not going to be easy because you have different dynamics between the teams. Some teams are better matched against other teams. You know, some are not matched as well against certain teams. So you can't really tell just because Tamakoma beat these two teams and ended up beating these two teams. Like you can't just make that assumption, but we pretty much can. We just have to leave that opening, just like leave that opening in our mind about the possibility that they technically could lose. All right, but chances are they aren't going to. Okay, at the very least, it's not going to be a blowout like it was last time. All right. Um, the way this chapter ended was the match was about to start, and Yotaro, Gene, and Hughes showed up to watch the match. Also, side note, Kakizaki, or Zaki as he is called apparently, which is a cool name. He is a former member of Arashiyama's squad, so you know he's good. I'm assuming he left Arashiyama's squad to lead his own squad. I'm assuming that's the reason. But anyway, this chapter was okay. It was a transitional chapter, nothing more. So I'd give that one a 6.5 out of 10. Chapter 137 was better, mostly because of this stuff going on with Yoko and freaking Rock. Okay, his name is Rokuro, but if you've watched Black Lagoon, then you know that the main character of Black Lagoon is also named Rokuro, but they don't feel like calling him that, so they call him Rock instead. So whenever I see a Rokuro in anime or manga, I gotta call him Rock too. Not like any of them will actually live up to Rock from Black Lagoon, but it's just I just got to. I just got to call him Rock. All right. So this chapter was made. I thought this chapter would be the start of the match. It really was. Well, technically it was at the very end, but most of this chapter was strategy focused. We went back in time a little bit, showing what was going on during the entire neighbor crisis. Not crisis, but the entire event with Galopoula. And Osamu's talking with the team about Katri's squad being similar to theirs in structure. Yoko is the only real threat. Yoko is the Yuma of that team. And they can't ignore the other two because they can do things. They use chameleons just like Kazuma does. But they just aren't as big a threat as Yoko is. Okay, that's just the way it is. All right. Osamu then brings up Zaki, his squad. They're mostly all-rounders. They have one gunner, but each of them has weapons for both close combat and long range. Okay, so that you can't really underestimate them. You can't. Um, but at the same time, they're the weakest squad in this match. So they don't. You can't be too worried, but like, don't completely overlook them because they have a wide variety of things that they can do. So I know Saki, his squad might even be more dangerous. No, oh yeah, his squad may be more dangerous than Yoko and her squad because Yoko herself is more dangerous than anybody on Kakizaki's squad. But as far as the entire team goes with teamwork and everything, it's Kakizaki's squad might be the team to look out for. They might be like the real threats here because we see once the match starts, Yoko goes straight for Yuma, okay? And the reason she's all fired up and the reason she wants to try so badly is because of this argument that she actually had with Rock, okay? Um, Rock, he starts criticizing her because she isn't really taking anything in Border seriously, including the rank wars. She just doesn't care. They're trying to strategize, and she's on her phone. You know, she's just on her phone, completely not even taking anything seriously, not even my phone's upside down. She's just on her phone, not even taking it seriously, just barely listening. And he's like, come on, take this seriously. You know, like whenever things don't go your way, referencing the losses and different rank wars, and even going as far as her position as an attacker, switching to gunner, switching to an all-rounder. He just tells her, listen, whenever something doesn't go your way, you just switch to something else. You just give up, and then you put on this whole act, you know, woe is me, and you know, and she gets annoyed at that and says, who are you to talk? Like, you're saying I don't try, but I'm the only person on this team that's actually good. You're saying I gave up at being a gunner. My rank as a gunner is better than yours, you know. So then she ends up saying that it's the only reason she doesn't try is because there's no point in trying, because there's a wall that exists between the elites in the A ranks and them, and they can't get over that wall. And then Rock says, how could you even say something like that when you've never even tried to break through it? You've never tried to go over it. You've never tried to even approach this wall. So how can you say it's impossible to do anything to it? You know? So because of that conversation, she's kind of fired up. And while she hasn't too much pride to actually admit that Rock was right, she's going to show through her actions that she's kind of acknowledging it. Because you can tell her attitude changes once the match starts, because she does charge straight for Yuma. All right, so this should be interesting. Should be. Oh, one thing I want to mention: Kakizaki's squad. While they were talking, Zaki, he ends up saying something. He ends up saying, "This team isn't supposed to be hanging around in this position." So I don't know. Maybe there's something going on. I don't know what. I don't really know why he would say something like that. Maybe it was maybe he left the Rashiyama squad for a specific reason. Maybe he was asked to head up his own team for some reason, and that reason is important to the point where they should be relatively highly ranked, but like they aren't. Like I don't really know why he. Cause I'm actually like, maybe this is just a throwaway line. It doesn't mean anything, but this team isn't supposed to be hanging around in this position. Like he makes it sound like there's some higher purpose for the team, or that the team is actually really good, but for some strange reason they just can't show. They just can't reach their full potential and show what they're really capable of doing. Like I this is just one of the reasons why you can't look past Kakizaki squad. You just can't. It's and it's and he didn't say it out loud either. He thought it. So there's no reason in thinking something like there's no point in thinking something like that if you're just trying to pump the team up and make them feel like they're really good and like get them some confidence. Like he legitimately believes there's some reason why they should be better. Like so I don't know. There's a little mystery surrounding them now, but yeah, just don't look past Kakizaki squad because I think they're better than their rank says they are. All right, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I still think that Tamakoma has the advantage though. The Saki, his squad picked the stage with tall buildings because Chika is the only sniper in the match, which means that it's a pretty big advantage. And they picked a stage with tall buildings so that it's tougher for her to see. All right, but it still doesn't change the fact that she's Chika. She could like it doesn't change the fact she's Chika. All right. Plus, Osami's got his tricks now with freaking spider string and crap and whatever. So I still think Tamakoma has the advantage. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that for chapter 137. Honestly, I'll no. I was tempted to give it a 7.5 out of 10, but I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8 out of 10, mostly because of that argument between Rock and Yoko, because that got heated. There's some passion in there. You can see I like that. I like seeing that from characters. Instantly makes me care about them. So yeah, I'll that first chapter gets a 6.5 out of 10 out of me. Chapter 136 and chapter 137 gets an 8 out of 10. And that is that, you guys. Rate, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at BlacklistOTA. And I will see you guys next time.